All right, so welcome back to our Sangha. We already did quite a few things. Today we continue with the same idea of numbers, which we already before we addressed in my presentation on the language, especially in the order of the Vibhaktis cases, how it is organized in Sanskrit, and the whole idea of Vibhaktis in Sanskrit, 21 case, 3 numbers, 7 cases, 3 times 7, the whole sacred organization of language. Today I will speak on numbers per se, and maybe a little bit kind of shift towards Kabbalah and Hebrew Semitic tradition, so to say, Chaldean tradition. It was believed, and Sri Aurobindo and the mother spoke about this, that they represent the tradition which was pre-Chaldean and pre-Vedic. There was one tradition before, and then it got split into two. One went to the west, and it became what we know as Semitic tradition, Hebrew, Kabbalah, and the other stayed in India and became what we know as Advaita, so to say. One went totally for the spirit, neglecting nature. The other looked for power in nature and neglected spirit. And so now we have East and West. It happened long ago, and now we have to reassemble them back to one tradition. So both are important, the power of nature and the spirit. So let me project the PowerPoint. Do you see it here? Probably you do. We spoke about symbols. These are 2 symbols of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. They are well known. I will come to them again. Sri Aurobindo spoke on symbolism in this manner, that a symbol is the form of one plane that represents the truth of another. For instance, a flag is a symbol of a nation, but generally all forms, all embodied forms are symbols. This body of ours is a symbol of our real being, and everything is a symbol of some higher reality. There are different kinds of symbols. We are not going through them. We take only one, the last one, mental symbols, instances of which are numbers and alphabets. Once they are accepted, they too become active and may be useful. Thus, geometrical figures have been variously interpreted. In my experience, the square symbolizes the supermind, or the triangle too. There are different explanations. In other position, it can symbolize the 3 lower planes. In other, the symbol is the 3 higher ones, so both can be combined together in a single sign. And we know the sign of Sri Aurobindo. You can see square in the middle, connecting 2 triangles, so Satchitananda, so to say, projected into our Manas, Prana and Annam world, into mind, vital and physical. And in between there is this link world, which is supermind. Within the supermind, there is the lotus, symbol of the avatar, of the Purushottama, the supreme being manifested through these means of the 3 higher transcendental worlds or 2 hemispheres, the higher and the lower hemisphere. This is a symbolic language, yes, but it explains something to us which cannot be explained otherwise. So coming to the numbers and geometrical figures, I just put it in a very simplistic way. So we have a 1, which is kind of a dot. We have 2. If we spread 1 into 2, we will have a line, which will be 2. And then we need a third one. So when we add the third one, it comes back to itself. It builds the triangle. Or we can round triangle and build this circle. Yeah, because it comes back to itself. So it's like 1, but already not 1 totally. There's something in that 1. Something is going on. It's the same as dot, but this dot already has corners, or has 3 different views on itself, as it were. And then square, and then 5-cornered star and 6-cornered star, which was the symbol of a macrocosm, whereas 5-cornered star is the symbol of microcosm, of a man, interestingly. Yes, it even resembles man. There's a head, 2 hands, and 2 legs. But this is microcosm, this is macrocosm, we will come to it. Then the 7-cornered star can be viewed differently, either up or down. We will also talk about this if we have time. And 8-cornered star, and so on. So I just wanted to show the numbers with corners within geometrical figures as something which is on the edge of symbolic language. So now I want to come to Pythagoras. Pythagoras has a treatise which sounds like this. 1 is 1, 2 is 3, 3 is 6. This is the whole treatise. There's nothing more to it. 3 sentences. 1 is 1, 2 is 3, 3 is 6. What do we figure about this? Here it is. 1 is 1, 2 is 3, 3 is 6. What can you, read from it? What do you see? You can share some thoughts of yours. No? No thoughts? There must be some. Wow, look at this. I know what it means. Now I understand. Robin is joining. Yeah.
If you have the numbers 1, 2, 3 in a line, if you go to 2, it equals the 1 plus the 2 is equal to 3. So the second position is equal to 3. If you go to 3 and you add up all of the previous numbers, you come to 6.
Right.
So it'd be 3 plus 2 plus 1.
Right, absolutely. But what does it mean, this operation? It does something. It actually tunes us to some perception which we actually have all the time, but do not activate because we are so mental and so kind of fixed on the object of sense.
It's a summation.
Could one be the...
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
1 is the absolute, so the complete unity, oneness. 2 is 1 and the other. And 3, then I don't know when I lose it. 3 is the multiplicity, or 6 is the multiplicity. Yes.
So that 1 which is spreading into the line, I will tell you what I gather from it. If somebody wants to say before, so please go ahead. Some intuitions from this. This is a very powerful kind of vision of reality.
Maybe 2 is point to point, and the stretch in between is 3.
Right. Well,
1 is the point.
Points and there's something in between, right?
Yeah.
Also good, very good. Thank you. This I didn't even thought of. But this is an intuitive thought. And on what ground it is made? It is made on some ground of You see, if we have nothing, suppose, and then we have one, yeah? So if it is made on the ground of nothingness, this thinking cannot be done without assuming that there is nothing at the ground. Because you cannot think of two in terms of three anymore. You thought about line and in between, but truly speaking, three is possible only because 1 and 2 are already in place. So if 1 and 2 are already in place, we have 1 and we have 2, then definitely we will have 3. Yeah? So the order, the quality and quantity have different values. So one thing is quantity, 1, 2, 3, and the other is quality of that. So the moment you mention 2, the moment 2 is in place, 3 is implied. 3 comes into existence with the 2 coming into existence. Can't be otherwise, because there is 1 and there is already 2. Yeah? So as on the ground of 0, these 2 are already revealed, and once they are revealed, that means there are 2 qualities of 1 and 2, so they build the quality 3. So 3 is a natural outcome. This is the pure family of pure sum. 1 plus 2 equals 3 is the most perfect equation. There is no more perfect, and 1 plus 2 equals 3.
But Vladimir, isn't 0 also a number?
This is the question. Is 0 a number? Many people, many mathematicians and so on, criticized Pythagoras for that he did not introduce 0 into his system. And how could he introduce 0? Who would tell me? Is 0 a number, really? Okay, if 1 equals 1, there are more intuitions here. There's another intuition which is profound, and that is that you can see if 2 equals 3, 3 equals 6, and so on, 4 equals 10, and it goes on, you can see that the only number which is equal to itself is the 1. The 1 is the only number which is totally identical with itself.
Then so is 0.
Are you sure about this?
Because 0 equals 0.
Are you sure that 0 equals 0? This is a good question, profound question.
Actually, 0
equals 0.
Actually, 0 holds all the infinite possibilities.
Right. Does it equal anything?
No, therefore it is infinity.
Yeah, it equals none. So if 0 equals none, so we can't put 0 into the equation saying that 0 equals 0. It doesn't equal 0.
It changes the value.
Huh?
It changes the value of any number on either side of it.
Yes.
And also you can't divide by 0, so that would indicate that it's not a number.
Absolutely lovely. Very good. You cannot divide on 0. And multiplying on 0, what does it mean? Where it leads us. If you multiply 2 on 0.
More value?
It will be 0. Everything becomes 0. It's interesting that, so 0 is a weird thing. So I had a slide here, the puzzle of 0. I knew that it will come question on this. So if 1 is equal 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 4, 10, there's infinite numbers and they are never identical to itself. Only one number is identical to itself, is 1. The rest is something else. 2 represents 3, 3 represents 6, and so on in quality. So And then equals 0. What is 0 equals to? So it equals none of the numbers, or maybe some of them equals it. No? No. And here we have this concept of Sat and Asat, being and non-being. To be or not to be. 1 or 0? This is the question. Not to be 0.
Aurobindo also talks about it in Savitri.
Mm-hmm.
1 and 0.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact lines, but he does refer to it in Savitri.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is your thought? What Sri Aurobindo and Mother says on 0 is the 0, infinite 0 occupied the world. What does it mean 0 occupied the world?
Yeah. The possibilities, the potentials.
Absolutely. There must be something done within that empty space which is ready to be used for manifestation. So 0 is a weird thing. We will come to it again. Sat and Asat, to be or not to be. And you know that in the computer science or computer programming, they are using this major language, 1 and 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0.
Yeah.
That's enough for the computer to function. 2 is not needed. Okay, going ahead. So system of numbers. We have 1, 2, and 3. We have 3 families of 1, 2, 3. The first family, the second family, and the third family. Notice I'm putting them in this way. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And they all together build 9. Yes? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we have repetition from 10. 10 starts again 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Why I highlight this 1, 2, and 3? Because these would be interesting numbers for us to look into different families. So how they are really 1, 2, 3? In occultism, it is, if we follow Pythagoras, 1 is 1, 2 is 3, 3 is 6. 4, yeah, so first before we start, Pythagoras, why didn't he put 0 there? Well, we will answer this question at the end, after analysis of numbers, okay? So this is Pythagoras, yeah, basically, that 1 equals 1, 2 equals 3, 3 equals 6, and then 4 equals 10, and 10 is 1. Yeah, quite clear why. 5 equals 15, so 10 plus 5, 15, and 15, 1 plus 5, 6. Huh? And then 6, this 15 plus 6, 21, and 21 is 2 plus 1, 3. This is Kabbalistic approach. So what we have here is 1, 6, 3, and here we have 1, 9, 9. So look at this interesting thing, 1, 3, 6, 1, 6, 3, 1, 9, 9. It's like a dance of some kind, you know. It's a code of some kind. 1, 3, 6, 1, 6, 3, 1, 9, 9. So we have 3, 6, and 6, 3, and then 9, 9, you know, in the second positions in 3 families. So if you look at this 3 and 6, if you add them, you will have 9. 6 and 3, you add them, you will have 9. So you have 1, 9, 9. There's much to look into here, because this is the universal language, which may explain to us the whole manifestation, all the possibilities in manifestation, which was used in occultism, in Kabbalah. If we go farther to 19 and so on, we will come to it in a minute. So here is the system of occultism as it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, 10, 22. 22 laws of occultism are chosen to be the complete system. 22. Unfortunately, I do not have full, time for you to explain everything here, and don't want to confuse you with too much information. But if you look at Kabbalistic system, and this is it is that which is all the alphabet, 22 letters. You know that Moses brought these 22 letters, which he generated on the hill Sinai, brought to his people Israelis. He created the system of meanings for them, alphabet. So it starts with Aleph and ends with Tau. Aleph, Bet, and so on, and that is alphabet. Yeah? It was taken by Greeks, and then it was taken by Romans, and then by all the peoples in the Indo-European languages, and also Semitic languages. So Aleph is the first, Bet is the second, Aleph is the magician, number one, the creator, and the Aleph letter is triple. So the one is triple, interestingly. And then Bet is the Divine Mother, Isis, in the system of Hermetism. So she sits in between two pillars. She's number two, the force, consciousness. So we have the being, then we have consciousness, and so on. I'm not going through all of them. But it comes to Shin 21, 3 times 7, and Tau, the last letter, is the realization of the divine nature, of the Divine Mother. There is a beautiful maiden, naked, dancing in the full light, and her right hand touches the sky, her left foot touches the earth. She combines heaven and earth in one manifestation. There is nothing here, everything is open in full light, full realization. So it starts with magician and ends with realization in nature. Starts with the creator and ends with the Divine Mother, fully realized. This is the whole, you can see how many connections, what it builds, the complexity in terms of the yantra which we see. And it just added for you to be wondering about. So here is the Hebrew alphabet in numbers. So it's interestingly designed that from number 10, the symbolic numbers change and become not like 2, 3, but 20, 30, 40. Yeah? And so here you can see the play of 0. And when it comes to number 19, then it changes not into 10, but into 120, 300, 400. And this 400 is considered to be the fullness of realization, mysterium, when the whole universe is realized. I was mentioning this 400 number in Savitri because in Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, in the Mahabharata, Yama grants Savitri and Satyavan 400 years of life. I think this is the symbolic number which is remembered from pre-Chaldean pre-Vedic tradition as a fullness of realization. 400 is this completeness of realization. I will show you this in a different system. Here it is. If you look at these numbers from the point of view of 3 creations, we already looked into it before, I think with our people from the Vedic studies. And if you look at this 1, 2, 3, this pure family of Sat, Chit, Tapas, or Chit Ananda. Interesting that Chit Tapas is number 2 and has 2 ends, has consciousness and force, 2 in it. And 3 Ananda is the emanation of this Sat Chit Tapas, is number 3. So this is the transcendental world. And on the level of Vijnana, or the supermind, number 4, that's very number which Sri Aurobindo mentions, as connecting the higher 3 with lower 3, here the lower 3, 5, 6, 7. So we come from 1 to 7 as Sat Chit Ananda Vijnana Manas Prana and Annam, the manifestation through Vijnana. Vijnana is number 4, which will project the lower hemisphere down. So there will be Manas. This is the Manas, the free will. The 6 is the macrocosm on the level of prana, which connects heaven and earth. The 6-cornered star, Solomon's star, or Sri Aurobindo's star. And 7, first manifestation in matter, or first manifestation of matter, material universe. Then Sri Aurobindo speaks about involution. Then something happens from this involved Godhead. There will be evolution. But before evolution comes into being, there is nothing to evolve yet. It's just this fallen emanations. You remember those fallen emanations of consciousness in light, bliss, truth, and life. So this is the first involution which took place, but there's something which happens in between, and he calls it devolution. So there is involution, devolution, involution, and evolution. He speaks about these 4. Involution, devolution, involution, evolution. So there were 2 involutions. One was in the creation of the habitat. The fallen emanations created the habitat. This is the habitat. From 4 to 10, from supermind to supermind, this bubble was created with levels from the mind to the matter and with vital in between. Here it is. And then there was a second involution when these fallen emanations took place and were formed, so to say, fell into their opposite. The second involution took place because the Divine Mother, turned towards the Supreme and said, look what happened. The creation did not take place, and he told her in her story, in the Mother's story, so find the greater force, greater truth, greater consciousness, greater bliss, greater life, and precipitate that fallen bubble, this first bubble. So there was found by Aditi a greater force which plunged into the darkness of the first manifestation. So this plunge into the darkness generated 13. 13 is the first death. It's by dying that the Supreme could capture the manifestation in time and space. Manifestation in matter could be captured by death only. So this perpetual living or perpetual dying is life. Constantly dying is holding the matter. In the system of Kabbalah, 13 is death. So from this time on, the evolution takes place. It is from death to 14, 15, 16, back to the supermind. So these are our 2, involutions and our evolution, in which we are 2 creations, which we mentioned in our course on the Vedas. The 2 creations took place, and now the third is coming up. And the third one is the manifestation of the supermind, which Sri Aurobindo tried to bring the supermind down into the matter. This is all his work. This is integral yoga. After evolution towards supermind is fulfilled, supermind is reached, now he has to bring it down into the matter. And this is the third involution, or supramental manifestation in terms of the integral yoga. And here 19 is the first coming out of the circle. When the supermind touches the matter, this one is called the X, which is breaking the roof over the top of our head, the ceiling. It breaks the ceiling in our house and opens it to the higher light. So to break the ceiling within the material manifestation and open it to the higher light will generate this kind of unending evolution. Yeah? 20 is the symbol of the head receiving the light from above. 21 is the joker, the one who presents the divine in all the circumstances of nature, or Shin, number Shin. It's also called as radiation. And 22 is the Divine Mother, which connects everything. So if you look at this scheme, you will see something interesting. There are three movements, major movements, in manifesting the divine, and they are all fitting beautifully in these 22 symbols. In Chaldean and Vedic tradition, this is what I want to say. Here, this was the attempt to bring them both together. If you analyze the arcanum, those who know occultism, they will see immediately meaning in these positions of numbers, because these are the laws of existence. Yeah? Right. If you have any questions or remarks about this, and you see there are 3 circles, yeah? 3 circles and a half. Does it remind you something, 3 circles and a half, this word?
You know, it's Vladimir, if I look at that total number 22 and I subtract 3, the 1, 2, 3 that always is, the transcendental, then you get 19 steps of creation, and 1 plus 9 is 10, which the mother says is perfect manifestation, perfect creation.
Mm. Yeah, you see this 10, which is supermind here, is brought here to 10 in the matter. Yes. So once it is there, it is perfect there, but to be perfect in matter is something altogether different. Yeah? So there are many insights from this. This is the whole kind of yantra for learning about everything. It's like the whole mysterium is in front of you. And 3.5 circles, we also mentioned this before. I was surprised to see this in the scheme. It is the Kundalini Shakti has 3.5 circles. Why that Kundalini Shakti has 3.5 is a mysterium, because that half is never understood. So that half goes to the transcendental. 3 is understood, but 3.5, what that half is doing. Yeah. These are the languages, symbolic languages of something which goes far beyond our immediate, perception of reality. Very symbolic. So now you can see symbolism of numbers. Yeah? Here there is more. If you want to go into numbers, we can also stop any time for discussion instead of going more into it. So I just laid out all the mathematics of Kabbalah for you. Yes, 1 is 1, is the only number identical to itself. The rest is totally messed up. Yeah, 2 is 3, 3 is 6, 4 is 10, again 1, 5 is 6, means 15, and 15 is 6. So 5 is interesting because it's in a position of 2. I see that, I made colors. 2 is green, you see, everywhere. Position 2, 3 is blue everywhere, and 1 is orange. So for you to orient yourself. So if you go through the whole system, you will see repetition of it, amazingly. 136, 163, 199. Then again, from 10, 136, 163, 199. As if a magician made it. There is no new possibility. The possibilities repeat themselves endlessly, infinitely. This dance of 136, 163. And notice that 6 and 3 and 9 are from the family of 3. So when 1 wants to become many, 3, as you rightly defined, it has to go through this spreading or perceiving himself or acting upon himself as 2, consciousness force. Yeah? So to become many, 3, it needs this. It needs to perceive himself and perceive himself in his infinite details. Now we have the biggest question, which we must answer. What is 1? If 1 is doing all this, if everything starts with 1 and it spreads itself into many, what is 1? And this question I had the longest time of my study of Kabbalah, maybe for 2 decades or something, going around, beating around the bush and trying to figure out what is 1. What is 1 according to you?
1 is the divine by himself.
Right. If you look at this, so this is the system of coordinates. So you will see this is the 1, yeah, suppose, and this is the 2 then, and 3 and so on. And it can go in any direction. But if suppose I choose this as 1, not this, then 2 will be here, yes, and 3 will be here, and so on. And if I choose 1 as the here, then 2 will be here. And if I choose 1 as the whole scale, where will be 2? Where will you find 2? I asked this question from a professor of mathematics, and he told me that I asked him, what is 1? Can you explain to me? Because I understand what is 2. 2 is when I define 1, I know what is 2, yeah, and 3 and so on. I know the whole thing if I know 1. But if I don't know 1, I don't know what is 2, and I don't know what is 3. I cannot define them. So everything is defined by 1 in a way, and he told me, you're asking the most difficult question, because nobody knows what 1 is. 1 is the only number, he told me, and he pointed to this coordinates, that it's the only number which you choose at will. I can choose that I am 1, or I can choose that we are 1, I can choose that me and table are 1, and then I have different system to count for. Yeah? So it is the only number which is chosen at will. Why? Because it is the only number identical to itself. It doesn't have any other explanation. It is the number in itself. It is the thing in itself. Amazing. And that is something. So if 0 is here, you see 0 in the mathematical sense, is the beginning of all movement. So look at this. Then if this is 1 and 0 is here, so what is 0? It's really not a number. It's a matter of measuring the 1. It doesn't have space. 0 doesn't have space in the system of coordinates. No? Or am I too much going into the...
No, it makes absolute sense. It helps understand that there is free will.
Right. There is a free will, and 1 is of that kind. So when I started to examine these, Yes, I have to say something about the 9. You see 9, 9, 3, 6, 6, 3, which build 9, 9 here. This 9, 9, 8 and 9. 8 is 9 and 9 is 9. But 8 is in the form 8, like infinity, you know? Which has the form, but in its meaning it's 9. And 9 is an amazing number. And this is what I wanted to show you, how amazing it is, because it behaves as 0. If you multiply by 9, you will always get 9. You can see it. 1 multiplied by 9 is 9, 2 multiplied by 9 is 18, 18 is 9, 3 multiplied by 9, 9, 27, 36, 45, 54, it's always 9, 63, 72, 81, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Whatever number you multiplied by 9, you get 9. You get 0. This is as 0 behaves. If you divide by 9, it's an amazing thing. So you will have 0 and that number into the infinity. So if you divide 1 on 9, you will have 0 and then 1 running into infinity, 2, 0 and 2 running into infinity, and so on. If you plus 9, you will get the same number which was there originally. 1 plus 9 is 10, is 1. 2 plus 9, 11 is 2, and so on. So you will have at the end the same number. 9 is not influencing the addition. So it behaves, though it is not 0, and it behaves like 0. So here I showed this interesting, this middle, dividing by 9. 1 divided by 9 is 1, 0 into eternity, into infinity. At the end there has to be 1, but there is no end. It's just going on. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, look at this, 7, 8, 0, 8 into infinity and eternity, infinity, both. And 9 divided by 9, I am writing this, 0, 9 into eternity. Why am I writing this and not 1? Though it is 1, yeah? Mathematically it is 1, because if I add this 0, 1 into infinity 9 times, I will get this number. Yeah?
Vladimir,
Yes.
I'd just like to take an aside. I don't know if anyone knows the music of Stravinsky, but years ago, Balanchine, who was a musical genius, loved Stravinsky, and he put on a 3-week Stravinsky festival, and I decided to go to every single performance because I knew there was something there I had to learn. And by the end of the 3 weeks, I learned to love Stravinsky's music, but I didn't understand it. And just a couple weeks ago, I was reading a book on Balanchine, and the dancer was explaining that Stravinsky's music that Balanchine loves so much was based on this. It was based on the 9 in its many different forms.
Right.
And I didn't understand it until I'm listening to you. So thank you.
All right, yeah, but 9 is it's a magic of some kind. It's the biggest number in the system, the biggest. You cannot have bigger because you fall back into 1 again, into another circle. But here, look at this. It's 0 point and then 9, the biggest number running infinitely into the infinity. That means at the end, if there is at the end 9, there is no end, but it seems we are speaking this symbolically. So we add 1 here, 1 drop, and then it will rush and become 1. Yeah? But since there is no end, it's always somewhere farther away that you can reach, then you can never reach the depth of 1. 1 is an absolute number, yeah, covering all possibilities. So this 0 before comma is that potential which Jayashri was mentioning, that potential of manifestation. Yeah. 0 underlines the infinity of 1. Yeah. And this 1 can manifest before 0 any number, but any infinite numbers, and will never be exhausted. Because that 9 runs always there farther than we can exhaust it. So we can draw from this infinity any number, any infinity, any infinities, yeah? And it will never be exhausted. Purnamadach, that is full. Purnamidam, and this is full, because we can draw from that fullness. From that fullness, this fullness arises. Yes, and having taken all fullness from fullness, it will still remain full. This is the mantra of Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnameva Vashishyate, and it will still remain full because you can't exhaust inexhaustible. So this is the mystery of 1. It's the biggest number in the system. Well, after that I had not many questions left for myself. All the questions were answered somehow with this kind of 1. And that also explains how Vedic rishis speak about, may we be Adityas, Aditayach, Adityaso Aditayach Siyama, says Vasishta in his hymn to Aditya and Adityas. May we be Adityas and Aditis. May we be the infinite manifestations of the Divine Mother, and may we be infinities. Can you imagine? May we be infinities, because from this infinity we can draw infinities, not 1, but infinite number of infinities, and it will never be exhausted. If you look at our universe, you will see it. How many galaxies upon galaxies, billions upon billions, trillions upon trillions, and there is no end to it. No end.
Maybe that's why we have even 9 planets.
Could be. Yeah, with planets, occultism deals with this, yes.
That's the thought.
All right, here I am I had to inspire you in that direction. I stop my presentation and open for discussions. If you have, there's something chats.
What Vladimir do you see? Because I see that last slide there had the mother's symbol. What signification do you see relative to numbers and her symbols, the 12 and the 4, and anything there that you could share?
Well, yeah, in the occultistic system, they have similar thing. 12 is actually fullness of manifestation. We have 12 Rashis, we have 12 zodiac signs, all those things. So the fullness of year 12 months. So it is a full cycle of manifestation. And of course, 12 directions are in the space. There is the whole myth about in the occultism, which is used by Hermetism. It is from Osiris and Isis. You remember the myth of Osiris. He was killed by his brother, Typhon Set, who was his kind of enemy, and then he killed him and cut him into 12 pieces, and these 12 pieces he casted into the space. So they were all manifesting the universe, yeah, those pieces. And the Isis, his wife, was moving from one to another, collecting her husband. So she had to move from one piece to another piece, and that symbolizes time, actually. Time collecting her husband together. And then she hears, when her son Horus, maybe you saw or you read about this, says to her mother, you don't need to do this anymore because I am a rising sun, Surya. I am a rising manifestation of the divine. So that psychic being, that son of Osiris, who is macrocosm, now in microcosmic way, is becoming the one. So this 12 has so many significances. There are 12 pearls, you remember, around the mother's head, which were seen and by Alma. And Alma said immediately when she saw these pearls, she said, you are the Divine Mother. 12 is around you. This is the symbol of the Divine Mother, yeah? Collecting the manifestation in time as Isis collects her husband, and she produces Horus, and Horus is the rising king, the universal Godhead, finally, Purushottama in individual frame. So these are the symbols. For four are these four major powers of the mother, which represent actually exactly that, Sat Chit Tapas Ananda, yes? Or let us say Sat Chit Ananda and Vijnana would be better. And one of these forces, each of them are needed for the manifestation of the Supreme. Each of them. This is the fullness of his being, consciousness, bliss, and truth are needed for him to manifest. So these are the components or constituents of our soul. And they are manifested in 12 qualities, yes? And these 12 qualities are bridges to those essential characteristics of our soul. 9 is divine. Divine is 1. 9 is his power, his infinity, his fullness. 3 times 9. "99 names of God." Infinite numbers of names of gods, 0, 9 into eternity. They are all names of his.
Even the Chinese believe in 9. 9 is a very sacred number to them.
Right. Right. It's amazing that we have this only 1, 2, and 3, and nothing else. And if you look into the musical rhythms, some of you know music better, you will find that there are only 2 types of rhythms, 2 and 3. There are many divisions, but they will be representing 2 and 3. So you will have 4/4, or you have 2/4, or you have 1/3, or 2/3, and so on. So you will have 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 walls, and you have 1, 2, 1, 2. And nothing more. All other are modulations, modifications of these 2 major rhythms. No? Sharon disagrees.
That's why Stravinsky was such a genius, because he took all the different combinations going up to 9, and he had his dancers not count 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, but count 9. And then the next sequence in the choreography would be another set of 9, but it would be divided differently. And then the next sequence would be another set of 9, but it would be divided differently.
Oh,
It was very complex, and the dancers that danced it had to be, I mean, so mentally alert because they had to put that into their body because it was in the music. It's really amazing now that I understand it.
Well, I would like to know how it is divided by 9, because 9 is the number 3 in the third family. And in a way, in my view, there can't be any other rhythm. I'm speaking about beats, yeah, rhythms. I'm very curious to hear any other rhythm. I'm very curious.
Listen to Stravinsky. See if you can hear it.
Well, that could be a challenge, yes.
Yes.
But it's a very open discussion, yes. And we need to explore it in our life.
Vladimir, are you familiar with the number 9 and 12 in the construction of the temples in India?
No.
These numbers are apparently they reoccur in the construction of the temples, and I don't know a lot about it. I've heard about it, but that's all.
No, I don't know. I know that it is always anthropomorphic, as in accordance with the human Purusha, so to say. Universal Purusha is to be manifested in the temple some way. But I didn't really look into that numbers or in the temples.
It's 108, right? 9 times 12.
108.
So it's the 108 number being the temple being, I don't know, I'm guessing, constructed under the principle of 108, or, the 12 constellations times the 9 planets, which is also 108, or the 108 padas of the nakshatras. So I think it's embedding this sacred number of 108, but it's a pure guess.
Do you know what 108 is? It's an amazing number. Yeah? First of all, it's 9 at the end. It's the full cycle, because once we complete the cycle, we will have 18. 18 is a complete cycle, 9 and 9 from both sides. And then 19, 20, 21, 22 is breaking the cycle, going beyond into the eternity. Yeah? So that's why from 19 is a full manifestation in material formation of the supermind, and a new infinite evolution from light to greater light. Yeah? But 18 is a full set, and 18 is 108 is, if you build the pyramid, you will have 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. So you have the pyramid of 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and this is 108. It's amazing. Yeah? It's a pure formation of 1, 2, 3 in the most dynamic sense. This is the universal language, numbers, yeah, which is applicable to all languages, to all cultures, to all. It's a mental language which helps us to understand things as they are, without really adding to it something from our own cultural or other upbringing. So we don't need to try to fit it somewhere into something. So the whole Kabbalistic system was beautiful in one sense, that Moses created this alphabet which corresponds with numbers, and these numbers have symbolic meanings. And if you start looking into the names in the Bible which he brought, Old Testament, so there those names correspond to symbolic numbers which are meaningful. They say to us what these godheads do, what they represent. So there are two ways of reading the Bible: from the point of view of exoteric stories, what happened, that kind of Adam brought this and so on, and the sons of the, and so on. And the other way of reading is esoteric, from the Kabbalistic point of view. And there's a much there of knowledge hidden from before, which has to be read in Kabbalistic way. So these are some thoughts. And each of these arcanum has not only numbers, symbolic, that has symbolic picture, also pure symbolic, and also the color, picture, letter, and number. So you have the full set of symbolism possible ever. And of course, geometrical figures. Geometrical figures follow the numbers. And once you study it, you will be surprised how much you can open from this knowledge for yourself. It will give you hints, intuitions. It will build your mind in a manner that you will be able to find the truth without going through the jungle of thought. Yeah? You go straight to it for some reason, because it builds up, it educates your mind to be precise, to be direct. So mind can be involved. Any other remarks, questions? There is something written here. You can say for yourself, Stacy or someone, plunging into the darkness introduced to the opposites. I oversimplified, but does this show up in the numbers? Opposite, how to show opposite in the numbers. Everything is from the one, except one, is already some kind of opposite. Some kind of manifestation of one in some form. All the numbers represent the one number, whatever, big or small, but in a particular quality or characteristic. In the Kabbalistic system, they are actually reading the numbers in this way. For example, if you have number 5, let us take just as an example. And so they will give you the formula. 1 plus 4 is 5, or 2 plus 3 is 5. And these are two readings, two different meanings of 5. 1 plus 4 and 2 plus 3. And you can understand why. Yes? The creator and the supermind is 5, the free will in the microcosm, all 2 plus 3, the force, the Isis, and 3, the manifestation of this force, is another, or 3 over 2 as a spiritual manifestation over the force, which represents the proper pentagram. If it is turned upside down, it has another meaning. So they go deeper into these equations, finding new meanings for the numbers. It's kind of language in itself. I know that I can't answer Stacy's question because maybe I don't totally understand what she means. If you are here, Stacy, you can say.
If we have such a, hold on. I'll move further away from Kim. And then I won't have an echo.
Very good.
Okay. So I remember you saying about when the divine plunged into the darkness, and that just made such an impression on me. And then truth became a lie, that sort of thing. And so when I was looking at your circles, I was looking at that center circle where, so it goes from the pattern went from 136 to 163. And I just wondered if any way that was showing the introduction of opposites in manifestation. But I don't know if I was reaching for that or if it was showing up.
It's amazing. There's some intuition. I was always wondering about that alternation, 3-6 and 6-3, which in the third family is 9-9 simply. But Maybe you're right. That is the upside down thing. Which starting from the number 4, from the supermind down, will be turning everything upside down and will make out of 3, 6, 6, 3. Maybe this is the way of self-reflection, as Sri Aurobindo describes, when the consciousness force manifests the object, so it kind of withdraws its knowledge from its own creation and perceives it anew as if it never knew it. Maybe this is kind of symbolized by that shift of numbers. Thank you for this intuition. I will be trying to figure out by contemplating on this shift. Yeah, I never could understand it. I just took it for granted as it is and waited for the answer. But now you brought a kind of an aspect of it, of turning upside down in the second family.
I'll be interested to hear your contemplations.
Right. Well, let's do it together. You also do it. You also try to look into the numbers. They are perfectly representing themselves. So it's easy to deal with them. They will never betray you. They will never, present something else than they are. Yes? The truth is with them. So only you have to see it. They do not mean some other meaning, because once you know the meaning of them and you follow them, you will discover the truth. And that's why Pythagoras was insisting on knowing mathematics. Insisting. For music also. All right, I think we can stop here for today. So it was like a touch. There are more things here, people writing. Unfortunately, I didn't read everything. Soumya wrote so many things. Soumya, what to say?
So the only thing that I wanted to mention was how Mother dropped one R from her name. This came from a source on Savitri. Her original name is Mirra, Mira, and she dropped one R in order to make her entire name come up to 24. So that's what you see. So
you're already thinking in those terms. Yeah, right.
Right. And very interestingly, when we went to look for a house, and I didn't quite understand numerology or anything like that. It's all based on intuition. The number of our house, this was 20 years ago, right where we live now, is 3063. And it had a good ring to it. So intuitively, I was offering this number up to the Mother in meditation, knowing nothing about numerology, asking if 3063 has a good divine ring to it, do you approve of it, Mother? And then it came to me that yes, this is a good number, uplifting number, something like that. I felt good about the number on the house. So we went ahead and signed the papers and all that.
Right. It's 12, actually.
Correct. And so although we may not completely understand numerology, I feel like intuitively we can feel it. We can feel the rhythm in the numbers, right. Even if we don't completely understand numerology.
Yeah, understanding comes with time. You have to contemplate. You have to do your homework, so to say. And then it will come. And it is always in bits and pieces. If you study Kabbalah, you will see many more things. What is 12 is Messiah. Why Messiah? What all this 11 is the force and manifestation of force. You will understand many more things because they are all related in one system. It's a profound system of knowledge. And but we don't have time for that. But if we study it systematically, we may even do this exercise together once. Go through the Kabbalistic system and see how it corresponds with Vedic. And then we will have so many hints, so many intuitive hints which we need to function in this world consciously.
Can I just quickly ask a question, Vladimir?
Sure.
In the tarot, the major arcana are 22 in number.
Right.
Is there some kind of a relation? Because there also you have the magician, you have the mother, you have the joker. So is
Right.
there?
Tarot is built on this, yes.
I see, okay.
The whole cards.
Not as
By the
much.
way, we never mentioned the minor tarot.
Yes, the minor arcana. Yes.
Yes, minor arcanum. Yes, and minor arcanum is amazing because there are four, what we call them, clubs.
Yes.
You know,
Spades, diamonds,
spades,
hearts.
and diamonds, and these are four aspects of the mother actually,
I see.
and they manifest the transcendental world of Sat, Chit, Ananda, and Vijnana. This is the correspondence with Vedic system. If you start looking into that, you will be surprised how profound it is. I discovered I started with Kabbalah and with mystics, with Christian mystics and Hermetism. And then I discovered Vivekananda and Sri Aurobindo, and then my life changed, then Vedas. And I was always looking for this combination of two systems. Even when I joined the university, it's a funny thing. They were having interviews. What do you want to study in the university? Why do you want Sanskrit department to study Sanskrit? And I said, I want to discover the oneness of the Semitic and Vedic tradition. And I gave them my theory, and they were looking at me thinking, what an idiot. He wants something which is absolutely impossible. But still, you see, somewhere it is hanging. After 40 years of studies, it's still not leaving me and coming back all the time in one form or another. So
Vladimir, let's continue with this, please.
Oh yeah, definitely. We cannot leave it. It cannot leave us. It builds a proper way of logic thinking. I found this logic in the Vedic grammar and the Sanskrit grammar. Yeah, 7 cases, 3 numbers, 3 times 7, 21, fullness of manifestation. And when I compared the meanings of the cases with the arcanum, with all the laws, they were matching. What is this? Is it really possible at all? So if you take nominative case singular, nominative case singular, this is the Aleph, the creator. He is the one who alone is, who is actively active, who is. And then you have a dual case, he, the one who is in duality, and then he is in bahuvachanam or trivachanam. They call it in grammar sometimes trivachanam, the triple number. So singular, dual, and plural. And it is all nominative case. It is Sat, Chit, Ananda in pure sense. Yeah. If you start analyzing this, you will see an amazing vision of how grammar interweaves or interconnects with this way of thinking. It's a pure logic of the number and the order of thinking. It's a part of the mind, of mental operations. Anyhow, not to confuse more anymore, so not to go into that too early, but we can look into the grammar and see how our grammar represents this philosophy of numbers. And I'm sure music also, but we didn't touch the music today. Aurelio is the best to actually to ask about this. He will give us the full overview of numbers and harmonies. That would be interesting to see. All right, thank you very much. So we will meet next time. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank
Vladimir.
you. Wonderful, wonderful.